On today's episode, we are going to be doing some high-end outdoor / summer DIY decor that looks very expensive, but's not. And so I think we should get started right here on the front porch. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I love like lanterns. And so I couldn't help myself when I saw these lantern poles. I think I saw them on Amazon, but I think they're also on Walmart. I'll link it below. So this is the size of it, but it's gonna sit a little bit taller, maybe up like here. So what I thought we could do is build it in my planter. Several years ago, I revamped some thrift store lights and turned them into some lamppost planters in these same planters, and I wanted to recreate that look but maybe add a little bit more height. So these ones will be a little bit taller. The size of this is not huge, so maybe it will be too tall and out of balance, but we'll just go ahead and put it together and see how we feel about it. So let's start by building our lamp posts. All right, let's build these. And it looks like it's got some like garden type stakes. It also looks like it has a finial for the top, which we can just go ahead and put on right now, I think. And let's go ahead and open this. So there is like an on button, so we're gonna wanna make sure that that's on. I don't really see instructions here, so we'll see if it came with any. Oh yeah, I see a place where we could stake this. And this is a 2-pack, so it's nice because then there will be one. I love symmetry, so there will be one for both sides. This is an extra light bulb. Here's the instructions. I love instructions. It's pretty self-explanatory. It just basically looks like you screw it in. There's 1, 2, 3 long ones and a short one on top. Maybe that can help you like adjust the height. So if you want it to be a different height, you can pick the height that you want. So it looks like you just click it into place. Do you screw? No, you screw it. Maybe it goes like this. Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, we can pick this height we want, it looks like, so that's kind of cool. So that's one side. Oh, there's also a stake like this, so we could definitely put that in and then stake it and stake it.
You want steaks? You're gonna get steaks.
This is really easy, I can tell right now. Let's test this out. I'm not gonna screw this in yet because we do have the ability to make it like 6 inches taller. I have a feeling that might be too high for if we're gonna not bury this in the soil, which I don't wanna bury it in the soil now because now that I know it has all these like stakes, oh. Which I don't have any of them in. So, do we like this height? Actually, let's go ahead and put the stake in it. We might need this last shorter piece, which means, yeah, I think you have to put it in this last shorter piece because the last shorter piece is how you screw the top in, if that makes sense. If we wanted it shorter, we'd have to take out one of the longer pieces. I think we should just see how we like it, and then maybe we'll take out one of the other pieces and like compare. We're gonna use the stakes to help us make the decision because I decided not to bury it. So there's a garden stake that you put on the bottom. See? And then we can just face this the direction that we want it. Okay. Let's step back and look at that. That seems kind of high. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out this one. I got them on really good and now I can't get them off. All right, let's take this one off. All right. We'll make this one shorter just to see how we like it. It's okay that it's tall because I am gonna put some plants, but it does feel a little bit tall. So we'll try it a little bit shorter. Okay, what do we think? I think it needs to be shorter. What do you think? Am I making the right call? Should we get my husband's opinion? I'm gonna call him down and see what he thinks. Okay, so I have 2 height options. And I'm gonna put flowers and plants in the bottom here, but which height do you like better?
I think this one, I think it just looks too tall because nothing's on it.
Okay, so you like the height.
Well, plus it's a lantern.
Yeah.
I've never been taller than a lantern in my life.
Okay. All right, thanks for your opinion. Love you. All right. Let's make it taller, and then we can always shorten it if it doesn't work once we get the flowers in. And I do this every season, and that is like do a really good clean, sweep off, mop it, and sometimes if it needs it in between, I'll do it. My great grandma Ruth used to get out and scrub her sidewalks and her porch with a bucket and soap and a scrubby brush. So we're not gonna do that, but I'm gonna use my tongue coat to clean this up because it is tile, and I think it will get it looking really good. She was a very clean and neat person. I wish more of that rubbed off on me and I wasn't so chaotic, but she was amazing. So we got the tiles all nice and clean. And so it seems like every season I need to do something to these planter pots. And last time we spray painted them. So I think we can get away with just doing a cleanup from the dirt and debris. So that should do it. Then I planted it up with, yes, faux flowers, but these faux flowers, I'm telling you, look really, really realistic, beautiful. I love them. There's a lot of you like cheering me on to like do the real stuff. And you know what? I believe there's a time and a season for all of that. And right now, the season of life that I'm in, I just need something really low maintenance and easy. So one day I am gonna become a master gardener, and I really look forward to that. So all of the flowers that I used are all from Hobby Lobby or Amazon. So most of them are from Hobby Lobby. They are meant for the outdoors, the UV resistant. So I think it's the hydrangeas, and then the tiny ones are from Amazon, and then the like hanging greenery that is from Hobby Lobby, and I got that a couple of years ago, and it's holding up great. So then we got it all planted up, and it looked amazing. Now that we've completed these planterns, I got a lot of suggestions from all of you because I had some issues with my last plantern from that thrift flip episode. If you haven't seen that episode, you're gonna wanna check it out. What I did is I took this thrifted lamp, gave it a whole new life on this like planter stand thing, lantern planter. Mouthful.
It's wordy.
I didn't love the lighting solutions because I have no hard wiring, no plug anywhere near here. So I got these rechargeable light bulbs, which I really like. And you guys gave me a ton of ideas. A lot of people suggested painting the lower part of it a black color, which I am considering. A lot of you mentioned maybe frosting the glass. I thought it was worth a try to do a like a clean fabrics. Like, so this, I don't know if you can see this, but it has like a texture to it, which might obscure it a little bit. I don't know, let's hold it up. Oh yeah, that disguises a lot. You'll notice it has a grid on it. That's just for measuring, and that peels off. So we are gonna apply this, and that's what we're gonna do right now. The first thing we're gonna do is we are going to just cut a square of essentially how big it is. Now let's get the width, like the max width. So we've got like our starting point here. We're gonna peel off the backing. Okay, now it should have like some static cling to it. This is what my husband calls slip. He makes this. I think it's like a mixture of like half water, quarter baby oil, and quarter rubbing alcohol. We're gonna spray this on, and this just helps it slide into place. Well, I can already tell that it is gonna obscure that some. So then I'm gonna take a razor blade and we are gonna just cut in.
Will be no hard goodbyes, thank God we're civilized.
I can't decide if I like it better or not, but the nice thing about the cling is you can remove it if you don't like it. I think it's worth giving it a shot. I think it's an interesting twist, so I think I'm gonna keep going and keep doing it on this other side.
Maybe we rose too fast, maybe we got too high. Yeah, I do remember tears and the laughter. How could we fall so fast and let us go?
What do we think? Is it looking good? I still think we need to spray paint. The base is black, but I do think it's looking pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna do this top one right here.
Now why do we care to dream? Guess we wanna believe.
Okay, this looks really good, but you can still see the white, so I'm gonna unscrew these, and I think I am gonna paint the bottom of these black, and hopefully that will finish it off. Okay. So I went into my workshop and I taped it all off, and everything except for where you like the USB-C cord in to charge the light bulb, because I felt like if I tried to cover that up at all, it would end up having white peek through and it would just be weird. So I was very, very careful about spraying the matte black spray paint on that area. I kind of just I didn't go directly on. I kind of did it at an angle in both directions so that it would still work. And that way we got a complete coverage over that charging area. I let it dry, took off the tape, and it was exactly what it needed. It really did solve the problem. I like this now. It looks so good. And yeah, it was such a good suggestion. Thank you for that. Feel free to give me suggestions. I'm all ears all the time. So I love these quick changes, and what do you think? So I wanted to share with you some other stuff that I got. So I don't know if you've seen these. I feel like they're all over like Instagram and everything. They're from Amazon. You get them in a 2-pack. I bought a couple of these that I was thinking we could plant up and put on our porch as well. But now that I'm seeing it, they're like really tall. And by the time we plant them up a little bit taller in some pots, they'll block our beautiful planter. So we're gonna come up with a different idea for this. My plan is to put them in these Dollar Tree. I think these are technically a trash can, but I thought that they would make a really cute, tall, kind of skinny planter for $5. So we're gonna make this sit up a little bit higher by taking like another Dollar Tree planter, putting it upside down, and we'll set this on top. Let's talk about the pillars. A few of you noticed, I think it was in my spring porch stuff that we were doing, that my lion's heads are no longer there. And so we got my sons a basketball hoop right here for Christmas, and they both were hit with basketballs, and so they both broke because they were concrete. But I do still have the mold, and so I can make new ones. However, if I make new ones, are they gonna get broke again? So if you have some ideas of how to strengthen them, I really did like that look. I think it was beautiful, and they were really affordable. But then I was like, maybe we need to do something a little bit sturdier to withstand a basketball hitting it. So then I ordered like this metal one off of Amazon, which could be pretty. They're not as big though as my other ones. And then I was like, they're kind of small. And I'm like, maybe I need to go with something a little bit bigger. So I am looking at these other options. One of them is very similar to this one, but it's like really big. So the height and width of it is really good. It would take up a bigger spot than the cement ones did, which is really cool. My issue is that it came out like 10.5 inches, and maybe that's fine. So that is another option. And then finally there was this option that is more like a concrete look. It was also kind of big. So those are some of the ideas that I am playing around with, because I really do feel like First of all, I love lion's heads. I think it's really regal and classy looking. So those are some of the options that I'm mulling around. Which one would you go with? And would you give it a concrete look, kind of like what I had before, even if I go with one of the new finishes, or should I leave it bronze, or what color would you go with? So vote in the description box below and let me know. I came inside my workshop here to do this because it's really hot outside and I have an AC right there and it's blowing right on me. If you hear any noise, that is what it's from. But yeah, I want to assemble this. Now, these two are just some smaller planter pots that I had also from the Dollar Tree, $1.25. And I'm putting this upside down to kind of give this some height. That's adorable, don't you think? So they came in a box and they were kind of smushed. So you're gonna want to bend them around to get them kind of looking a little bit more natural. And before we do this, actually, I think what I want to do is have like a piece of cardboard that sets on top here. We'll like make a slit so it kind of wraps around so we can put some moss on the top of it. I think if we trace the bottom, that will set in good enough, and make it a little bit wider than the bottom, because it does taper slightly and I want it to sit down a little bit, so I don't want it as wide as the top part. So if we make it just a little bit bigger than the bottom, I think that should work. So I've got an Amazon box. I've got these industrial scissors. They're very heavy duty. I think that will be fine. Otherwise, you could use like box cutter as well. So then we've got this, and then you can see that it has like a seam. So we will just cut that, and then we'll do like a hole in the middle. So like that. Let's test it out. Okay, so we're assembling trash can, upside down plant holder. Then we'll set this in. Okay. Then we'll take this and slide that on. I hope we did a good job. If we did, we'll use this as a template. We could have made this a lot bigger. You can see that I can fit in like 2 fingers. So we could have probably traced the top of it and then just cut it smaller than that. But I think this will still serve the purpose of what we're trying to do, which is put moss on it and not have to fill it all in with moss. And then underneath it, we might stabilize it with some other like boxes and things. So we can still use that as a template, I think, but that's kind of what we're going for. So then we don't have to use near as much moss. I don't have a lot to begin with, so hopefully I can make this work. I'll have to go see if I have some more moss somewhere and then put the moss on top of our thing. And so then I try them out in front of the pillars. They look really pretty. I don't think that our cardboard situation with the moss is gonna endure the elements exposed, because it's gonna be out in the elements. So I don't think that we're gonna leave them here, but they sure look pretty, do they not? And so I think ultimately they will end up on my back patio, which that back patio makeover is going to be coming soon. Anyways, it's so good. Now we're gonna do the rug part. I've had the cheetah print rug on my porch since we moved in, and I love it. And we may still use it in this, we may not. We're gonna play around with a couple of things. First of all, for the past little bit, I have been using this rug. Isn't it so cute? It's from Dollar Tree, $5 from Dollar Tree. They actually have a lot of different options now to choose from, but I feel like I need a double one because I ended up putting it in front of the front door, because otherwise what's the purpose? And so it was a little offset. So I decided that I needed a bigger like doormat. So I got this one from Target. which I think is gonna be really pretty. I think it's perfect, it's a great size, so we're gonna be using that for sure. Now we have the cheetah print rug that we can work with, but I also got this striped one. So we may go with this alone with the mat on top of it, or we may layer this with the cheetah print and then the mat. So we are gonna play around and see what we think of that. Okay, so here's option number one. We'll just layer this on top of the cheetah rug, which I think looks really good. And then you just see a little hit of the cheetah print, and that looks really nice. What do we think of that option? Then let's pull this aside for just a second. And let's pull this aside for just a second, okay? Let's get our new rug out. This is kind of lightweight. This is more like something I could make a pillow out of this. In fact, maybe I will get another one and make a pillow for somewhere out of that, or a couple of pillows. Let's go ahead and layer it with a cheetah print for now, and we can always see how we like it. I have a feeling I'm not gonna like it layered with the cheetah print. The colors are not, and this is whiter. I'm already gonna veto that because I don't like the colors with this, and also this cheetah print is whiter than that. So that is not gonna be an option. So then we're gonna just choose between which under rug. Do we like this one better, or do we like the cheetah print? What do we think of that one? I don't know which one to go with. I like them both for different reasons. Since I've done the cheetah print for a while, let's go with this just for fun. My concern is like how well it will hold up out here. However, it's very covered, so I think it will be fine. If I remember correctly, they advertised in the picture that it was meant for the outdoors. And then also I forgot, I have a whole bunch of lanterns in the back that we could place around the front here. And so that might be fun to play around with too. So before we do that, let's switch out, if I can, that plug outlet. It's just so yellowed and gross. Let's take care of it. I think it's literally just as simple as switching out a light cover. If I would have known it was that easy, I wouldn't have hesitated so long. Okay. Well, that'll do. So then it opens, closes. It's still kind of big. I don't know why they need to be that big. I may still look to see if we can find something smaller, but isn't that a massive improvement over this yellowy, kind of dingy looking thing? It's black, but maybe it kind of goes with the ring above it, so we're gonna go with it for now. Now it's time to address the door wreaths. And I had bought these magnolia leaf wreaths from Hobby Lobby, and I'd had them on my door for a couple of weeks to just test them out. They were originally $45. I only paid $22.50 because I will not buy them full price when they go on sale. So
on sale?
But they're really not popping off the black door. They kind of just are like, okay. And so I just like, these need magnolia flowers on them. So I went to Hobby Lobby and picked up one bunch per wreath of some magnolia. And so I cut each one of the flowers off the bush, and in the past, I have learned that especially in heat and humidity, hot glue is not gonna cut it. So what I did to attach them is wire them into place. It's just the best option. It's super easy to do. You just wire it on, they're good, and I don't have to worry about the hot glue melting and the flowers falling out. So it was a really, really quick fix, and it made all the difference. Now, magnolia wreaths can get very, very pricey, and they can range, you know, a designer one from $100, maybe even to $200. These, when all said and done, was $350 after it was on sale, so that's $26 per wreath. They're substantial, they're beautiful, they look fantastic, and I'm so glad that we have them. One more project up front that I wanted to do is a solar fountain. We are gonna do a water fountain, and I have 3 different base options, and this is the planter pot that we're gonna use. Now, I've done this idea on my channel before, but I haven't done it at this new house, and so I wanted to try out a couple of different options. I just love a water fountain. I love the sound of it and all of that. So I loved this one, but I didn't know which option for a base I wanted to do. So I have 3 different height options, and they're all 3 a little bit different. I got these front 2 at Hobby Lobby. So this one was from Hobby Lobby, and this one's from Hobby Lobby. I think this one was $27. This one was $13, and then we have a $5 option. This is from the Dollar Tree. My favorite option is this one, but I was a little concerned about it balancing, it being sturdy enough, because as you can see, this area is kind of on a slant. Also, this is not very attractive. I'm gonna just say, I do have plans for this area. In the meantime, we're gonna try to make it look a little bit better by doing this. So let's try out my first choice option first, which is this one. We're gonna try to create a level surface, and I brought out a level. We're gonna have to probably like backfill it and try to do things to get it level. I can already tell that this is not level. That's better. Okay, that's level, believe it or not. So we're gonna kind of push back this. I feel like this will look most like a bird bath or a fountain. All right, doesn't that feel right? Now, because it feels a little precarious, I mean, it feels pretty good, but like, I just want it to be very sturdy. I feel like if a wind came and it got really windy, this wouldn't be secure. And because of that, I'm using the black rocks that I did not end up using on my patio makeover. If you haven't seen the episode, it's a good one. They're very big and heavy, and I feel like if we put those in the base of this, it will weight it down. And so that's what we're gonna do right now. Oh, yeah, that's heavy. So hopefully this will get the job done. I'm a little concerned that this is gonna dye the water black, because whenever I handle them, my hands get kind of black, but we'll just see. Okay, that gives it some weight. It still feels like a little sketchy. I'm gonna see how it feels once we add water, because that will also add weight. So we're gonna go get the hose, fill this up, and then we'll get the solar powered fountain. Here we go. Okay, so this is our solar powered fountain. I'll link it below. I've used a bunch of different ones. I can't remember if this one has lights or not, but you'll notice that this time I added these to keep it from the edge. That's something I didn't do on the last one, and so it would always get to the edge and it would water the outside. If we do put these in, it will keep the water hopefully in the thing. So the thing you want to do is submerge it really quickly and then let it go. And we don't have a whole lot of sunlight now. Oh, but it's working. So there we go. And this comes with a bunch of different tops. Right now it's a little overcast, nothing crazy, but this is solely dependent on how much energy is stored, and it hasn't been out in the sun. So like when there's cloud cover, this will go down. When there's full sun, it will go really, really well. I love how it turned out. We'll see if the stand works out. I really like it. It fit perfectly. We get some pretty heavy winds, and I'm a little worried that it will knock over, but we'll see. We'll see how it holds up. Next up, I have kind of a random project. I was asked to make some floral arrangements for our church pulpit podium for like Mother's Day and Easter. And so I first started out with some scalloped baskets that I got at Home Goods. I really liked the scalloped edge. And then I lined that with some dry floral foam. I wired it down into place so that it would be nice and sturdy and wouldn't come out, especially it needs to be kind of indestructible because it could get knocked over, and like it just needs to be a little bit more sturdy. Now, when it comes to arranging a flower arrangement, when I first started in the business. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I used to work in a floral shop for years when I was in college and in my early 20s. And so I worked at 2 different floral shops, and they were both kind of just different. One was more of like a high production, like they produced a lot. It was like really affordable stuff, and it was more about like mass producing. And then the second shop was a little bit more higher end. It had a greenery attached. You guys, you think I would have learned something about keeping plants alive when it had a greenhouse and they put me in charge of like growing things. So I know I have it in me. I think I'm just a little distracted right now. Anyways, so at the first shop, they taught me to green everything up first. And I have to tell you, this is not the best way. So the very best way to do this is to start with your flowers. If you add a little bit of greenery in an arrangement like this up front, I think that that's okay. You really want to save the bulk of the greenery for the end. So then what I typically like to do in a big arrangement like this is I will do like kind of a zigzag, and I did like 1, 2, 3 of the statement flowers, and then sometimes then I'll go 1, 2, 3 like in the opposite direction, so it's like crisscrossing of the really showy, like good flowers, or the ones that will add height. And then you want to use different sizes of flowers. So some that are bigger, some that are medium sized, and some that are smaller. And so that's what I set out to do. Now these colors are really, really fun. We did some really bright purple, and then a softer purple, and bright pink, and a softer pink, and then yellow. These colors scream summer, they scream spring. My hope was that they made people feel happy when they saw them. That was the goal. It turned out so good. I made matching ones, so it was one for each side. I really hope that this gives you some inspiration. Maybe you could make this for your house. It would have cost 3 to 4 times higher if you went into any floral shop and asked them to make the same thing. You get a beautiful arrangement without the high price tag. Okay, this next project is gonna be super simple. I got this little tiki torch like lamp thing, and it was dented. I don't know if you can see that dent, yeah. But fortunately, I'm not going with it because of its pattern or the way it looks. So I guess the dent doesn't really matter. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill it up with a tiki fuel, which it did not come with. I thought it might have the fuel in it. It did not. I got this at the Dollar Tree for $5. This is tiki fuel. So then we're gonna fill this up. That took about half, and then we can put the lid on, and that should soak up the fuel. Okay, so then you're gonna just take any kind of ceramic pot. I wouldn't do a plastic pot because that just doesn't seem like it would be very fire safe. And we are going to just set this in here. Now, because there's not a big gap, we are not gonna need a lot of these rocks, but this is like a bag of Dollar Tree rocks. They now put them in like a plastic bag. We're gonna just cover it up as much as we can with these rocks. And some of them will slide down the side, and that's totally okay. Press it down, and that should be good to go. So then we can just light it as we need, and then cover it up with the cap. Light it up when we're outside enjoying the nice weather. Super simple. Not only will this give you like ambiance lighting, it will be functional in keeping the bugs away. So I might make a few of these and place them in random places around my back porch where I'll be spending most of my outdoor time. And yeah, I just thought I would share that with all of you. Enjoyed this episode? If so, here are 50 more outdoor DIY decor ideas for you if you haven't seen it. You will love so many of the projects. Are so cool. And just as a reminder that you are powerful. We'll see you next time. Bye.